I started having symptoms which were really severe that would wake me up in the middle of the night. And then I started having trouble with my vision, and I had a CT scan. And then they told me the news that there was a mass in my brain. That was the first time I kind of heard the word tumour and cancer. It was all happening very quickly, like an out-of-body experience. After a year of pretty hardcore, constant cancer treatment, now I actually live a pretty normal life. My body was really, really strong going into brain surgery. We had a follow-up appointment, and that was the first time that I was told that I'd have about 15 years left to live. That was the first time it really hit me that I was one of the unlucky ones whose life would be cut short by cancer. I was working as a social media manager. I'd make content about the kind of struggles that I've lived with and overcome in the past, like mental health struggles, alcoholism, to offer other people hope, make them feel less alone. I started sharing my journey with terminal cancer. I've always been very open online. I do show the highs and the lows. I think it's important for young people to know that it's not game over straight away. It may not be the life that you envisioned or hoped for, but you do learn to adapt. I'm currently writing a self-help book about self-destruction and how not to self-destruct. I do have a future. I have so much more to do and so much more love to give and to receive. You can still live a life.
I have a progressive condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which meant I essentially grew up able-bodied. I found sailing when I was 13, and then I haven't stopped since. From that first day on the water, sailing gave me pure freedom. So I've just completed a circumnavigation of the UK and Ireland. I set the record as the first female and the first disabled person to do this solo, non-stop and unassisted. The hardest thing I've come across in my journey that has sort of challenged has been people's opinion. People have very preconceived ideas about what being disabled looks like, what being a female looks like, and what living with a life-limiting condition is. I'm actually the most unnatural person on social media. I do it because I didn't see anybody like me out there. I hope by sharing my story, maybe someone will feel slightly less alone when they might face something similar. I want to show that there is more to terminal illness than simply dying. Making the decision to pursue end-of-life treatment was one of the hardest things I've had to face, but it has also been one of the most liberating decisions. End-of-life care just means you're prioritising quality of life over quantity of life. It was about everything from making me comfortable to ensuring I could chase dreams, whatever I wanted. And for me, go sailing, be at home and spend a lot of time with my dog. The decision I made was I would plan as if I have forever, but live as if I have today. Life gives you two choices. You can face everything and rise, or forget everything and run. So in the face of a life-limiting condition, I decided to buy fear and try and sail around the world.
Five years ago, I was teaching fitness classes. I was also starting up just a little social media channel to fill in the rest of the wallet. I would do medical trials. By freakish luck, I was doing an MRI from my head, and within that they were able to discover that I had what was titled as a benign tumour. When I had my second scan, they said, no, this is growing, this is not benign, this is going to require surgery. And so that's where it all started off. And I never focused too much on the actual cancer itself. It was all just kind of, how can I get around these other problems that I'm going to face? It didn't take everything away. They leave as much of the tumour there as well because it's still functioning. That's part of why it's a terminal disease. I just made the switch to my social media channel being about raising money for charity. It was just like, okay, that is now my entire life's purpose, my only life goal. The actual thing that matters to me is to break the charity world record
for raising the most amount of money ever for running a marathon.
It's not to have followers.
The reason that I started talking about how my illness is terminal was to create a movie story within my own life. I knew that the story of a young man having a terminal illness and having to fight against this monster that is cancer is something that people would back.
What I kind of hope that other people get from this is to be a bit more tolerant of the hardships that life will inevitably hit every single one of us. I don't think I've changed, nothing that's particularly profound. My life has a lot of meaning now, which is fantastic, but in a lot of ways that is not because of getting cancer, it's more because of the opportunity that getting cancer has presented me with. What I would like other people to understand is simply that not everybody deals with death in the same way. The responses that I get on my story are amazing. I get very little negativity on social media, so yeah, I'm the one in a billion.